The BOPE is a special unit of the military police of Rio de Janeiro state in Brazil. Due to the extreme nature of crime in the largest city slums, BOPE units have extensive experience in urban warfare, combat, and progression in confined and restricted environments. It is one of the most efficient troops in urban combat in the world. BOPE operates in extreme risk operations, whether in patrolling high-risk sites, fighting in places of difficult access, hostage incidents, and situations of confrontation with drug dealers. The BOPE was created on January 19, 1978, as Nucleus of the Society of Special Operations through a project developed and presented by the then captain of the military police. Their logo is known in Brazil as faca na Caveira, Portuguese for knife in the skull. The knife in the skull symbolizes their motto, victory over death, and the cross pistols are the symbol of the military police. BOPE has gained notoriety due to their role in the violent war on drugs and have been referred to as Death Squad. BOPE currently perform a number of roles, including extermination of drug trafficking factions, serving high-risk arrest warrants, hostage rescue, suppression of prison riots, providing superior assault firepower in combat situations, special missions in swamps or mountain terrains such as reconnaissance, planning, and infiltration, and resolving high-risk situations with a minimum loss of life, injury, or property damage. To join the BOPE, a candidate must be in the military police for at least 2 years. They must have a high level of fitness, as well as being able to pass grueling physical, medical, and psychological assessments. After the reactivation of Team Rainbow in 2015, 2 BOPE operators were recruited to bring their skills and expertise to assist in the fight against terrorism on a global scale. These operators were named Capitão and Caveira.
Both loaded. Loading blast!
Vicente Souza, codenamed Capitão, is an attacking operator in Team Rainbow. Born in Nova Iguaçu, a city within the state of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Capitão is the youngest of 3 children. Raised in a close-knit community held together by similar social and cultural ties, there was a lot of support and unity among the people, as everyone tried their best to help each other where they could, and tried to keep the children out of gangs and off the street. But ultimately, no place was ever truly safe, and soon tragedy and loss burrowed its way into the Souza family, tearing one of the eldest boys ruthlessly from this world. His murderers, a group of drug dealers with little remorse for the families they tear apart time and time again. This event would forever shape the choices and actions for this family, and no one more so than Capitão. Driven by an intense desire to protect the people closest to him, he entered the Polícia Militar, where he trained in a wide range of tactical weapons and breaching strategies. Although he is very tight-lipped about his past liaisons, he obviously had a close relationship at some point, as he is the father of 3 children. His eldest is named after his brother who passed away, and often the family shares stories about his exploits growing up, in order to keep his memory alive. Capitão continues the same traditions that he himself grew up with: family first, safer communities together, and open and honest communication with his children. Although he may come across as a little overbearing at times, he struggles to trust their friends, which is most likely why he encourages them all to congregate at his home, where he can keep an eye on them. He knows he has raised them to be kind, aware, and smart about the choices they make in their lives. It's more that he has an intense fear of losing them, even more so than other parents, because of how he tragically lost his brother. He understands that in his line of work and in their neighbourhood, that no one, no matter what, is ever truly safe. Over time, Capitão took part in a number of dangerous operations against the criminal cartel and became a renowned expert on the organisation and their psychological behaviour. Unfortunately for him, on one of their routine raids on the cartel, he was ambushed and taken hostage. What occurred during those 2 months of his capture, before he was rescued, obviously had a momentous impact on his psyche. Although he never talks about the torture and brutal treatment inflicted on him, he forever sports a memento from his captors, a mutilated eye socket. Forged by their actions, what the cartel failed to realize was by not killing him, once again they had unintentionally helped solidify his relentlessness, his dedication to justice, and protecting those who cannot protect themselves, and fundamentally a soldier hell-bent on destroying them. When he was first rescued, there was talk about removing him from the field operations, but it soon became clear to his superiors that doing this would be a huge disservice to Capitão. Believing Capitão perfectly embodied their motto, victory over death, and given his urban warfare experience, BOPE recruited him into their ranks following his recovery. Although the cartel had placed a bounty on his head, he is not deterred. He has a purpose. And while this may be a daunting task for one member of law enforcement to try and fix alone, he will do everything in his power to find their weakness, destroy their infrastructure, and bring them down for good. It is clear that BOPE made a clever call when offering Capitão a place on their team, as his exceptional drive and years of unique experiences make him an invaluable asset to any unit. An excellent operator, dedicated, focused, analytical, every step of every decision he makes reinforces his commitment to protecting his family and making their world safer. However, he struggles to maintain some distance between his role as a protector and the characteristics that define his personality. Fortunately, his teammate Caveira understands this and endeavours in ensuring that he remains grounded. Capitão is equipped with a tactical crossbow, TAC Mark 0. This weapon fires a glass bolt without alerting hostiles to the user's position. The glass cartridge breaks on impact, releasing a gas that ignites the oxygen in the surrounding area. It fires two types of ammunition, asphyxiating bolts and micro smoke grenades. The asphyxiating bolts burn the oxygen in a given perimeter, which is lethal to the target. The micro smoke grenades enable the user to mask movement without alerting opponents of their position.
I'm coming for you.
Taina Pereira, codenamed Caveira, is a defending operator in Team Rainbow. Caveira was born in the small town of Renópolis, in the state of São Paulo. Unfortunately, her father died before she was born, and her mother only received a small sum of money after his death, which meant the family was forced to move to a poorer neighbourhood in Rio de Janeiro. While she is very close with her siblings, as the only girl out of 10, she has had to learn to fight to be heard, and even be noticed a lot of the time. As a result, Caveira is often criticised for being blunt by those who don't understand large family dynamics. Their mother is a strong woman, but understandably, she was often exhausted, distracted, and because of this, her children had to learn to be strong, independent, resourceful, and resilient. Fortunately, they also lived with their grandmother, a sharp disciplinarian who had an uncanny ability to see through the deceptions in games. Caveira learned a lot from the family's matriarch, and has immense respect for her. A strong, powerful woman, although looking at her, you wouldn't think so. She helped hone Caveira's interrogation skills, gifted her first knife, and always kept her on her toes. Still, life is tough when you're poor and growing up in the streets of Rio de Janeiro. You are constantly fighting to be heard, fighting to survive, and fighting for a chance. And eventually those fights and those chances that everyone around you is also competing for start to wear you down, and you start to look for easier ways to get the things you need, even if it's against the law. So as a consequence, when she was 16 years old, she was arrested on burglary charges. When presented to the judge for her sentencing, he was impressed by her calm and collected manner, and gave her the option of either juvenile reformatory or working with the BOPE as an informant. She believed by joining BOPE that they would support and encourage her to continue in cultivating her devious tendencies, which would serve them and also herself while undercover. This proved to be a good choice for her, as years of undercover operations within Brazil's notorious gangs made her a master of surveillance and interrogation techniques. Eventually the judge's mandatory time she had to serve came to an end, but she could no longer see herself doing anything else. She had finally found her place in the world, and so she quickly re-enlisted with BOPE. Recognised as an expert in the field, she often found herself called upon when conducting training exercises within the force. Rainbow formally invited Caveira to join them in 2016 as a result of her key role as an interrogator during the 2010 Rio de Janeiro security crisis. Although she had undermined BOPE protocol, they were not deterred. In 2019, Caveira went AWOL and killed several Santa Blanca gang members. This was in response to them kidnapping her brother after his cover was blown, and it was discovered that he was working for the federal police of Brazil. Operators Valkyrie and Twitch collaborated with Ghost Recon to recover her in an enterprise by the name of Operation Archangel. Although it's fair to say that while the mission was a success, it caused tension between Caveira and Valkyrie. Not one to think before she acts, especially when a family member is in danger, Caveira, along with her actions, could have potentially started an international incident. And Valkyrie, being the straight-laced and impeccable soldier that she is, would have struggled with Caveira's rebellious nature, and if push came to shove, she would have done whatever it took to accomplish the mission. As a complete polar opposite, the affinity between Caveira and Twitch is far more friendly. They met back in 2016, and although the connection is clearly very strong, their relationship status is unknown. Comms between the two show that they spend time outside of work together, although Twitch would prefer they go out in public more rather than just staying at home. Over time, Caveira has developed a predatory stealth technique called the silent step. This allows her to lurk on her prey in almost complete silence until it's too late. Caveira's ability allows her to sneak up on a target, swiftly immobilize them, and force them to divulge the position of the opposing team. Although I still thoroughly enjoy these stories, interest in them certainly seems to be waning, so let me know in the comments if you'd like me to continue with these. I'm easy either way. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!